increased your strength program. You've increased twice the size. We've seen a Ryan Bowen that's 105 kilos at the moment. You're doubling in strength, and it's been amazing.
Man, yeah, it's all going good. We've just sat through, no doubt, as you guys have, sat through one of the longest press conferences in the history of the sport. We got there.
Yeah.
We got there. It's if you want to know, it's 5:58 a.m. for us here in Brisbane, Australia. So we've been up since it started at 3 a.m. for us.
Well,
so we were up prior to that.
Someone was up all night.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed. But hey, you can see, look, we've got 93,943 subscribers on the YouTube channel at the moment as well. That is pretty damn cool, I gotta say. That's awesome. So thank you very much. Spermy's Asses Creamy says, hi, Ryan. Thank you for the first comment, brother. Good to see you here as well. It's been a while since I've done a live. As we're saying, we got Matt, Reps King. If you didn't see Matt's training that he did with me the other day being yesterday, it was brutal. But anyway, he's come up. We're going to be doing a whole lot of stuff this weekend, not only covering East vs West. You can see we're donning the AWE Arm Wrestling Entertainment t-shirts. We're very excited about what the AWE is bringing. Yep, sponsored by Real Estate and Pound for Pound Arm Wrestling. This is the official t-shirt that I'll be wearing when I face Chance Short. It does have my name on the back.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, here's the back. Double back biceps flex, Connelly. There it is. There you go. Nice. Good to see a few people jumping in the chat as well. Hey to Pavli Dwavetti. Then we got one from David Bolin. Hey, what's up, Bowen? Good to see you, man. Victor, good to see you too. Hey, Ryan, keep up the good work. Looking strong. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Brian Bellwood. Brian Bellwood. You don't know who Brian Bellwood is? That man has, I don't know if he's ever officially gone and done strict curl world records, but pound for pound, I've never seen anyone stronger than that man. Wow. Brian Bellwood, he outlifts, like, remember ages ago when I was doing the lifts with RVJ and all that sort of stuff? Well, he beats RVJ's numbers by maybe 10%.
Wow.
And he's 80 kilos.
Jeez. Was he the one that put that $100 tip in a minute ago in the East versus West?
I don't know. Might have been.
A very similar name. If it is, say, just confirm that was you. That we saw $100 tip go up in the East versus West chat.
Yeah. Hey, let's put Matt Connelly on the camera. Look, we got these cameras tonight. We got this one here. If we want to do it, we got Matt Connelly looking down the barrel, and of course, if we need a double flex, we'll just go back here. But just warming the machines up. It's been a while. We will be covering the East versus West live. We're going to be doing not only the two of us, but we're going to have young Ethan Tunstall as well. Mm-hmm. He's going to be here, and we're going to be watching that unfold. It's going to be pretty damn interesting. I think it's going to be a long one, judging by the press conference. I think it is going to be massive. It's going to be crazy.
It'll be a long day.
Hey, Benjamin wants to know, and you guys feel free to send through your questions for myself or Matt. We'll happily answer them. But we are going to talk a bit about the, of course, the East vs West 6 coming up in the press conference, what we just saw in a moment. We'll get to it, but feel free to send your questions through. We're going to take it real chill because we're tired, so we're just going to chill. But Benjamin asked, hey, do you think you could beat Oleg Zok? On right, yes, I think I could. On left, not a hope in hell.
Yeah, Oleg's like two people in one. That arm is freaky. It's enormous.
Yeah, all-time, maybe the all-time best left hand. Maybe something Goff's got that, but at least pound for pound.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. G'day, Ange from Bris Vegas. You're up early, Ange? 6 a.m. off to work? Very good.
Saturday morning.
Watching the Arm Wrestling podcast. Oh, it is Saturday, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what day it is. Thomas, he says yes. I don't know what that's about, but I agree. So, Matt Connelly, what did we see in that? Man, it kicked off Doug Ehrlich and Coach Ray. There was a bit of weird kind of lame back and forth about who's the most humble in that. It's always an interesting one when it made me think of what is that movie?
You did bring it up.
I too am extraordinarily humble.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, we had a bit of Guardians of the Galaxy going on between those two. Who that to me is, even though it's like the first match, Coach Ray, as you said it before, he brings a pretty big presence to the sport. He brings, he's got 100,000 subs.
Yep.
He's got a lot of people following his story. His story was amazing in 2022.
Yeah.
16 wins. one of them being me. Can Doug Ehrlich do anything to this man?
It'll be an interesting match. I think that Ray is going to be the winner in this one, though. But yeah, there was some funny back and forth moments there. I am the most humble. No, I am the king of humbleness. No one will beat me at humbleness. So those moments were kind of one of the highlights of the press conference, thankfully, because it was a really long, drawn out kind of event. But yeah, I think Ray has the goods. Surprisingly, he is one of the first matches on the card of 16 matches. It's like Ray has a big following. As you said, you don't want to put people who have a big audience, a built-in audience, that far down on the card. I mean, he should have been way up the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Ray, interestingly, everyone, when they meet Coach Ray, having never competed with him before, always get this perception of, oh, wow, you're so short. And you saw that at the face-off. These guys were very, like, I don't think Doug's a particularly tall guy, but he's still towering over Coach Ray. But the thing about Coach Ray, I was looking at the wrists, I was looking at the forearms and the hands themselves, and you can see the width on Coach Ray in all those departments. He is very, very, he's uniquely built for arm wrestling. Great bench press, got big, thick shoulders. I think Coach Ray's going to get the job done on this one. I think Doug Ehrlich, solid as he is, I don't think he's yet up to beating Coach Ray. Yeah, that's just my gut feel. And it did look that way, that Coach Ray was declaring a lot of confidence too, wasn't he?
He looked very, very like he had a secret, it was that little smirky kind of, I've got this match in the bag kind of look, which I think you're right. I agree with what you said.
Hey, Jesse Halleck, thank you very much, brother. You've sent a super chat in $4.99 US. Says, looking strong, Ryan. Can't wait to see the match with Chance. How much stronger are you now compared to last time you two pulled? That is a really, really, really interesting question. We pulled what, two years ago? 2 years ago. 2 years? Yeah, it was only 2 years ago. Wasn't that like people think it was a lot further away, but it's 2 years ago, just prior to travel restrictions kicking in. And Chance was 50 pounds heavier than me that day. I believe from memory, I was 95 kilos. So I was 210. He was 260. Our experience levels were, I've got a few extra years on him. Obviously, he's still pretty young. Chance had victories in the month prior to facing me. He had his most notable victory in a tournament. He beat Nick Zinner and Brent Rackers. So he was in pretty good form. But he certainly wasn't in the form that he's in now. Same can be said for me. I was taking the sport seriously. I was very much in it. I was 8 years in, or coming up on 8 years in, but I wasn't who I am now. The strength difference can be described best, I think, as I'm just in a completely new season of strength now. It's a strength that it's not that I've improved my arm wrestling strength. I have just built a bigger engine. I think arm wrestling strength kind of translates in an analogy sense to the tires of the car, the grip on the road, which I'd spent a decade developing. That grip on the road. My hand is good. I know my hand's good. I've spent a decade building it. But as you guys know, I neglected to build the chest, the shoulders, the back, because I always said, no, the most important thing is the hand. I still to this day say the thing that will win the match most is the hand. But having that engine room behind my hand now, oh my goodness, it feels really, really good on the table. And I think that's how I best describe my strength. Numbers, I don't know, but yeah, it's a big change.
Absolutely. Well, it was funny when we had a quick go on the practice table yesterday, and you let me get full position. I had all my whole body weight. I was leaning on your arm, this far from the pin pad. You let me get to that point. I knew you were going to do something. I was like, you're holding me, and then you literally lifted my whole body up over the table. It was like, oh,
yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, that's what it feels like. Is that just my back pressure has become so substantial compared to what I used to feel that it actually translates to my hand feeling amazing. I only train my hand once a week on table time, and I have 4 sessions that I rotate through on every other day, and one of those sessions includes hand work.
Oh, okay.
The rest is just base power.
Yeah.
And so
the fella couldn't move you off center. If you wanted to just hold me in the middle, you could have held me all day there.
Yeah. But hey, Jesse Halleck, once again, thank you very much for that super chat. 499, you're the man. Really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the match with Chance. I look, at the end of the day, it's a big reveal for me too. I don't know. I've just got my head down, working hard. We'll see what happens. Ray is looking strong. Braun says he's looking to go 17-0. Yep, I think he will. I think he's probably going to do it. We've got a question here from Cyprodox TV. What did John do? I missed some of it. John looked like he was in a pretty good mood, didn't he?
Yeah, he got comfortable. I did like one of the comments in the chat that somebody said that John's hair gets grayer after every single match, but he looked comfortable. He looked very relaxed. He like another walk in the park. I think he's in peak condition to take on this young up and coming Irakli.
Yeah, I think John. It's John's hand against Irakli's bicep or rising back pressure. I think if John contains that back pressure, I think it's over for Irakli. I think John will win from there. But if John's hand gets half cracked, then Irakli's on. But all the pressure on Irakli, I mean, he's up against the GOAT. It's a big deal for him. It's a big deal for any arm wrestler to get that opportunity. So this is the fairy tale opportunity for him.
Yeah.
We'll see how he goes. But John does look good. I would never bet against a confident John, and John's confident.
Yeah, John is insane. I mean, what is it? 40 years in the sport at this point. He's just next level, and still, where is he ranked? 8th in the world currently.
8th in the world overall, 2nd in the world for 105. And I think he's kind of pissed off at himself that he lost to Angabayev. I think he believes he should have won that match, and it just was things were off for him that night. Hey, Robert Gould, thank you very much, man. You've clarified for us. It was in February of 2020. So 3 years ago. Where is it? There we go. Robert Gould, February 2020, about 3 years ago. There we go. So a lot's changed. A lot has changed. My honest suspicion is that it's about a similar gap as it was last time in terms of fundamental power. I think his back pressure and side pressure was better than mine when I faced him, but my wrist endurance was better than his, and that's how the match went. I suspect we're in a similar situation.
How do you think he's going to go on the East versus West?
Yeah, well, look, his East versus West match against, is it David? How do I say his last name? Where'd he go?
I stopped at David.
Eric.
That's why I stopped at David.
Sorry, David. Sorry, David. I think that Chance is going to win comfortably. After his performance against Zurab, I think he'll be comfortable. I've gripped David at King of the Table just on the practice table and felt his shape. And I feel like he has a shape that is going to be a hard day to work with. Chance Shaw has amazing success against hook pullers. Anyone who's got a shorter arm than Chance seems to be in trouble. He pinned John when John tried to hook him. Todd Hutchins has been the only person that has been able to achieve an inside stop. I don't think David's going to be able to out top roll him, and I don't think he's going to be able to go inside on him. So I think it's a very difficult day, David.
Yeah. You see a 3-0?
I do. I see a 3-0 for sure. Aussie arm wrestler. He's in the chat. Jake Ward, you've been up all night as well. He says, I hope you crack 100K subs by the end of the weekend, my man. Ready, bang. Thank you, Jake. You are a legend. Please go and support the Aussie arm wrestler. All the things he's doing around the world, traveling everywhere.
Yeah.
He was in Ireland with Arm Gods last week. He's all over the place. I think he's booked out for the rest of the year, is what I've heard.
So good to see people getting rewarded for their hard work. And yeah, Jake, Aussie Arm Wrestler Award is one of the top guys in the sport.
He is. Hey, Victor, he says, thanks for the comment. He says, John Present looks really healthy right now. And if those stem cells do wonders for him, who knows what is possible? That is what is the X factor for John right now. We did hear him in the press conference say the jury's still out on how positive that is. But John historically has had a terrible shoulder, and by his own admission, a lack of side pressure because of it. I can attest to that to be true when I've trained with John and he's let me stay in my hand. He said, just crank up on the side, and we crank up on the side, and at about 80 to 90% of my side, his shoulder goes. You can hear it, you can feel it, and you're like, oh, what's that? And he's like, that's the limit of my side pressure. Anything more than that, my shoulder just falls apart.
Wow.
So, and he said he's had that for forever, pretty much. So if John has fixed that, that would make sense for why John's particularly optimistic right now and saying that he can pretty much come for everyone again.
Wow.
I hope that is the case.
Oh,
could you imagine?
Jeez. What we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, if John ends up being the man to,
maybe we won't go that.
You know what we're talking about. If John ends up being the man to take down Levan, then we all lose it. But that's a way away. But John, if his shoulder's good,
if anyone was going to do it, it would be John Brzezinski.
Yeah. He's everyone's hero in the sport. Hey, Sarah, good to see you here. Sarah Latona, killer arm wrestler there out of California. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Who else we got? We got Braun Strap. Chance gave the guy a Hawaiian shirt with his own face on it. I did see that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Is that an intimidation tactic or is that a backfire? I don't know.
I think that's just Chance being Chance. He loves the Hawaiian shirt. One of the funniest things is that match that he had with you, and he was in a pink Hawaiian shirt, pink Hawaiian shorts, and a cowboy hat. Yeah, he took the hat off after round 2 once it was on off. Hey, good morning to you, Mickey Lonsatovich. There we go, one of the Brisbane arm wrestlers there. Good man, Mickey. He's up. He's off to work, no doubt. Good to see you. Oh, no, keep it Saturday, right? People are home. Goodness sake. Maybe they're working. Some people work Saturdays as well.
Good stuff. Bill Collins on Facebook says, hello, gents. Good to see you. Billy Collins as well. All right, let's have a look at who else was in there. Now, who caused the stir? We put a poll out, and John is leading the poll as he stole the show. It was his, I guess, John, isn't it? His presence and his confidence was good. But then Pork Chop coming in second place, 26%. Jerry third at 22. Georgie only 9%, but gets a mention anyway. He did pretty well, given that he's from Bulgaria. But what do you think of Pork Chop's little show?
It was comical. It was a little silly, but it was probably one of the highlights of the press conference. It did end up sort of being a repetitive same conversation between every athlete saying that they were happy to be on the card. Thank you, Engen, for inviting me. I respect my opponent, but I think I'm going to win. Then the opponent would say the exact same thing, and everyone was running through that same scenario over and over. So for Pork Chop to pull out, the egg and the rock and do the crushing of the egg, even though it was kind of silly.
What about the line from Zurab? The retort was, "You're going to see my balls."
Yeah, it was
and everyone was trying to clarify what was going on. What did you make for that?
Well, a joke never really works when you've got to repeat it like 5 times and then get it translated. So, and it wasn't a good joke to start with. So.
Yeah. But look. I haven't met Pork Chop before, Curtis Cameron. He's obviously he's Canadian. He's in amongst all the shenanigans of Devon Larratt, John Milne, Evan Burgoyne. Like it's a rowdy crew up there. So he was bringing out a little bit of showmanship, I guess, and he added some flavor to that press conference, and it wasn't so bad. I thought it was pretty cheesy, but I was like, he warmed up to me eventually. It did.
Yeah, out of everyone, I think he was the most memorable because he did something. He did something different. It was silly, but it wasn't just him sitting there saying, "Yeah, I respect everybody. It's like, no, I'm gonna be silly. I'm gonna do something. Let's bring an egg on and so
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Robert Gould, he's asking the question. I missed the press conference. Should I go back and watch it? Robert, I hope you got a long time. It's about a 2.5 hour job. But I think that Matt, if you don't know, Matt, as the nickname suggests, Hollywood. He studied. I mean, you're in a movie at the moment. Can you guess what this guy's doing in a movie? Are we allowed to say it?
Yeah, you could say it.
He's killing people. He's a raging murderer.
Absolutely.
Look at it. Look at that. But anyway, Matt is someone who understands production better than most. And where's the sport in terms of presentation? What are some of the constructive criticisms without upsetting Engen? If you're watching Engen, we love what you're doing. But what are some of the constructive criticisms that the sport could do in terms of press conference?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of a press conference is that you've got the press there asking questions of the athletes. You introduce the athletes. Here they are. These are the matchups that are going to take place. Any questions from the press? And then the press would start asking questions to the athletes. Usually, they'll only ask questions to the top headlining, the top 3 matches. And if you're lucky, if you're one of the few athletes that gets a question from the undercard, that sort of makes you a moment. But a lot of the time, these guys go on press conferences and they don't get asked a single question. But
so will those undercard ones that aren't main event, they still get their face-off time? They still get in front of the cameras. They still get the chance to throw mud at each other. But when, let's say, Travis Bajan's MC turns to the press, a lot of them just say, no, we're not interested. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the press will line up. They'll ask questions of the athletes they want to get a response from. Most of the time, it's the main event, and you'll get 30 questions to the main 2 event guys, maybe 10 questions to the co-main event, and if they're lucky, they might get 1 or 2 to somebody on the undercard. But usually, it's not in the format that we just saw, where there's 16 matches, 32 athletes to get through, as well as the introductions, as well as the face-offs. That's why I went for 2.5 hours. And when you're trying to build excitement, and that's what a press conference is supposed to be, that you're trying to build hype, you're trying to build excitement for the event. And we saw throughout that even the guys that were present were starting to fall asleep, and they were yawning, and they were messing around on their phones, and they were drawing pictures and scribbling, and it was like, well, this is the moment you're selling the event here. So if you're going to sell an event in that manner, it would have been much smarter to just have the people involved in that match, bring them out, talk to them. All right, what do you think? What do you think? Great. Off the stage, get out of camera view, next to people. Let's do the same thing. Repeat the process. So you're not sitting there with all these people in shot that are, when they're not talking, when they're not directly involved in what's going on, they're bored. And you saw that. It was like, it just needed to be frame them out of the shot, because if you're talking to, say, John Brasing, and somebody's sitting next to John Brasing like, oh, it's like, mate, you're making this look really bad. Like, this is supposed to be an exciting moment. So yeah, I think those elements can be done better. It needed to be faster.
In terms of the length, 2.5 hours obviously was too long for the athletes, the fans. Is there a length that, like, if you were the production manager, what would you be aiming for? Like, is it less is more in this instance? Or
yeah. So it's a curve, and your undercard, you're going to spend the least time on. You got to bring them out, introduce them, let them have their moment for a second. Here's this guy. Here's this guy. They are also on the card. What do you think? What do you think? Great. Away. Next people. And then as you get closer to the main event, you got to spend more time with those people. And maybe you ask a second question or a follow-up, or let them have 30 seconds to speak to each other. By the time you get to your main event, maybe you spend 5 minutes with both those guys. You might run a highlights package before actually bringing them out to speak. But yeah, to spend equal time on undercard as well as the main event. By the time they got to the main guys that, I guess everyone wanted to see, Jerry Cadorets and your John Brasinks and, Michael Todd.
Yep.
It was like, man, I've been watching this for 2 hours, 15 minutes. And it's like, I just wanted to see these bits,
Hey, Alexander Clark, he's written, I was hoping somebody would have smashed a beer on someone's head. That happened at the Arm Gods.
Really?
Yeah, Evan McCoy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But it raises the question for me, like, you said, like, the undercard guys come out, they're not the fan favorites, they're not where the story is about, but they still have the opportunity to, in the heat of the moment, create a story, don't they? Like,
absolutely.
And not that we condone or recommend smashing a beer on someone's head, but if you're not the main event, like who we saw Mindaugas Tarasaitis. He's not the main event, but he got theatrical.
Yeah.
He said, my intelligence is almost like cheating. It's like so he was pushing buttons, and he was doing his best to try to get some bite back from his opponent, which he didn't get much of, because Nerdalet obviously not speaking English so well. But in those face-off moments, there's still a chance for the unknowns, or the lesser knowns, let's call them, to steal the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. And you do see that, say with the UFC, if somebody has an undercard position and they're sitting, usually the UFC will put on 10 fights. If you're sitting at fight number 9, but you can make hype for your own fight through social media, through your own promotion outside of the organization's promotion. You can have a rivalry built up with this person. and get interest. And then when you get your moment on TV or you get your moment on the screen or on content, it's like you need to seize that, make something memorable. You might only get a one sentence opportunity, and if you make that memorable, and then you can use that, it's like now you've got people invested in watching your match, and even if it's an undercard match.
Yeah. There's a lot to learn. We're at the end of the day. I think we all appreciate how hard it is to get everything right, and if we're fair, Engen's done a phenomenal amount.
Absolutely.
In terms of the boxes he has ticked, he's doing it very well. So we don't want to be critical there, but there's still steps to go. There's still steps to go.
Yeah, we only ever say these are the things that can be improved, because you know, if Engen wasn't the man he is, none of this stuff would be happening.
All right, I'm gonna have a look at my notes at who else was on there that stood out, because I did take notes for the first few hours, and then I stopped taking notes. But of those undercards, obviously I'm interested in the Chance Shaw David Arakuli one, because facing Chance Shaw, AWE February 25th. Just a little plug there. Don't miss it. But Corey West taking on two people, left and right. Is that going to be too much for him? I mean, typically speaking, taking on two affects your aerobic ability. Corey's not the most nimble looking dude. How does he go?
Well, it was interesting watching him on the first time he competed on it was either King of the Table or East versus West. And that first round that he had with his opponent, it went for like 10 minutes because of all the setups. There was a foul, there was a restart, there was this, then they slipped, and then it went to the strap. He literally looked like he'd been dunked with a bottle of water. Like he was pouring off with sweat, and they hadn't even pulled a single round. And so he was exhausted before the match had really started. It was interesting to see that happened, and then to see that he's taking on two opponents in one night. You better hope that the match starts quickly and that they end quickly as well. So if he gets stuck in a war on his left, he ain't going to have anything left for the right.
Yeah, and I can relate. When I last time I pulled left and right, an event was Arm Wars, and it was against I pulled James Wall, first match of the Arm Wars card, and it was a silver bullet match, so it was pretty full on. I had 40 minutes between that and my Bogdan Stoica match, and I can tell you I needed all 40 to get my heart rate back down.
Yeah,
I was only just ready. I was like, oh my goodness, that took way more than I expected. So yeah, and for someone of Corey's size and stature, he might need an hour and a half.
That's right. Yeah,
Two.
And maybe a full day, because he that's probably the fastest and the most I've seen somebody get exhausted in the first round in an event. And I think it was like a 9 or 10 minute round, which is understandable. But to get that tired on the setups, it was like, ooh, yeah.
Hey, we got arm wrestling royalty in the house, Marcus Thompson. Good to see you in here. Thank you for dropping in. He's the man behind Arm Gods.
He's absolute
one of those organizations that is like, oh, that's another one. You know that the people behind it are good people. You know that they've got the skills and talents. Watch Arm Gods. Watch Arm Gods.
Can't speak highly enough about Marcus Thompson. He's supported nearly every
single-handedly made a massive impact on the sport. But did you see? You've seen. I've seen you go back and watch a video from Uncle John a bunch of times that came from Arm Gods. Evan Burgoyne. Not only did he smack Paul Maiden with a beer, but he obviously lost the bet, didn't he?
Yeah, that video I've probably watched it 10 times. It's made me laugh so much because he lost the bet as well as the match. He had to shave everything.
He looks like Uncle Fester.
Oh my god, he looked like a roll on deodorant.
Yeah. But anyway, I
mean to speak badly about him. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah. You wouldn't, and you can see the look in Evan's face is like he knows he looks like a fool. He's looking in the. I messaged him and said, "Oh, dude, that chin." I said, "How are you coping, man?" Because I made the same mistake when I lost to Lachlan in November 21. I said, "All right, I'm gonna clean shave it off," and I couldn't believe how bad it looked. And Evan, it's that and more. But anyway, Evan, best of luck with growing that back. What else is going on in the comment section? Let's have a look. Let me just scroll up a bit. I missed a few things.
It's one of the best things I've ever seen. Because when you pointed out who it was, I was
You're like, what? Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Hey, Victor says, as impressive as Corey is, I honestly don't think he wins any match. Well, he's taking on two very seasoned arm wrestlers, two guys that have been pulling for 20 plus years, 30 plus years, maybe even, at the highest level. Redline John in John's peak. Like these are dudes that have beaten Travis in his peak. So it's a big test. It is the opportunity for Corey to step into the upper echelon.
Yeah. If he pulls it off, I mean, if he beats both guys, that's pushed him way up the top of the ranks. So yeah, all glory to him for doing it.
Hey, the Drew 24, who is the algorithm boosting commenter, he says, "Oh, Matt the Punisher Connelly, you are racking up a number of
silly nicknames.
If you missed it, guys, literally, it was the most painful gym session I've ever done. This man, I didn't spew, thank goodness. I was on the edge of it. He made Ethan spew though, and he almost made me spew. But I was looking for defibrillators. I was thinking, I was genuinely in a state of fear, genuine fear. That's what he did to me. So yes, the Punisher suits.
Yeah. That was so good.
But I like to call him the Reps King. And it's not that you don't have. I'm gonna explain the Reps King. I call him the Reps King not because he has the world's best endurance, but you love the suffering associated with endurance training.
Absolutely,
more than anyone I should. More than anyone should. I put him in psycho category in that respect. But Reps King. Yeah, that's your thing.
Well, it's cool. I like it. It's funny, and I like the Punisher one as well. Thank you to the Drew. Every single time I put a video up, he's the first one there, always putting the algorithm comment at. And we've got another comment here from the Drew. So my arms are even more sore now just from watching that video of what Matt did to you guys. Yeah, well, it was a lot of fun. That's how I train. I love that high rep stuff where your mind is wanting you to quit, your muscles are telling you can't do it. And it's like, I'm going to get it no matter what. You set that target, and that's why I set it at like 100 or 50 or something just insane.
You taught me some things. I stopped thinking I was done, and then you said, get back on there, you piece of shit. I did. And then I found that the reps from 90 to 100 were easier than the reps from 60 to 70. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's that mental discipline.
Anyway, you can go check all that out. What else happened? Let's have a look. We've got some more comments coming through. Devon's left arm says, best chance the West has had on an East vs West card. I see Pork Chop losing, but otherwise the card favors the West. I don't know. Hey, let me just quick thing.
Is Gennady facing from the?
Well, that's East? Just East cancels it out. So like Paul Lynn against Rustam, I think Rustam's a favorite. Craig Touye against David Samosha. Yeah, could go either way. Corey West could go either way. Pork Chop, I think Zurab's going to win.
Coach Ray,
I think is going to beat Doug. Chance will win. Michael Todd and Ongabayev, I think. John seemed confident in Michael Todd. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was like, I put money on Michael. Yeah. What does John know? John's pulled Ongabayev recently. He was Ongabayev's last match. So he knows. And he knows who Michael is. He's pulled him plenty of times, no doubt. I was favoring Ongabayev, gut feel. After seeing John say that, I'm now confused. I don't know what to do with myself.
It is hard.
Where are you going now?
Yeah, well, I mean, John is the man, as we said, 40 years experience in the sport, still ranked in the top 10. If he sees something in Michael Todd that others haven't, because, Michael has been on a bit of a losing streak. He sort of went from so dominant to win one, lose one, and now he's sort of like lose. And that King's move, a lot of people have really started to attack that, figure that out. Whether or not he's going to pull that out again tomorrow night, we'll wait and see. But yeah, I can't see him being the favorite in this, even with John's blessing.
There you go. Well, Michael's one of those ones for me now that I genuinely no longer know what to think. I I can't with any accuracy predict what Michael's going to do. I know his heart's in it, but I don't know if his body's in it. But then it kind of still might be. I don't know. We're going to find out. It's going to be a good one. Make sure you're watching and grab your pay-per-view Core Sports. What else we got going on here? Comments. Corey, I'm seeing people saying that Corey is actually a shutout stakes favorite in both of his matches.
Wow.
That's fascinating.
I wonder if that'll change after the first match.
Might be. If you're confident in his opponents, get on it. What else we got? Question from Alexander Clark. Bowen, do you plan on gaining more weight for chance, or are you where you want to be? I definitely want to be heavier than I am at the moment. That said, I'm not expecting too much more weight. Given that I've been up all night, I've probably lost a kilo. But normally I'm waking up at 105.3, 105.5. I'm going to bed at 106 at the moment. So if they're going to do a weigh-in, which AWE is doing weigh-ins?
We don't need to do a weigh-in on this event because there isn't any weight categories that everyone's falling under. So
okay,
yeah, you can do a weigh-in.
We'll do a weigh-in just for the publicity of it.
That'd be fun.
We'll do a weigh-in, main chance. I'm expecting, if I'm well fed, well hydrated, clothed, I'm aiming for like a 110, 112. That's what I'd like.
Oh.
With shoes on, well fed,
weights in the pocket.
Let's do it, Chance.
Yeah,
but I'm for the first time I'm ever in my life feeling self-conscious about my legs. Okay. I've never felt self-conscious about my legs ever, but now with my shoulders growing much, I'm looking at my legs. I'm like, I'm having to wear pants. I'm like, I can't wear shorts.
It's the cone look. Yeah. It's the upside down triangle.
But the thing is, if I open that box, I am a super heavyweight.
Right.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
If I do that. Because I'm 106 and I got no legs. I got no legs.
I'm surprised the biggest change that I've noticed, which everyone probably else has seen, these shoulders, the width right there. It's like everything's gone to the shoulders. Even when you were doing the bench press yesterday, it was just right here. Just everything's popping in that area.
Yeah. Oh, it feels good. That's actually been the thing that I noticed most, even within 2 weeks, was my posture, my ability to sit neutral with my shoulders actually back. I used to be extremely kyphotic.
Right.
And I couldn't to do an overhead press. No, just
is that how you looked when
it was like this is my overhead press. Yeah, that's what it was. We're gonna do overhead press today at the gym. Actually, that's in the session today. The old overhead. Yeah, but the shoulders do feel good. So we'll see. We'll see what size they come in, but it's gonna be big, biggest I've been. Hey, Devon's left arm wants to know, will we be commentating live, Matt Connelly? Will we?
I think we will. Yeah, maybe just because of this comment, we'll do something.
You've sold it. You've tipped it over there for us, Devon's left arm. But yes, man, we definitely will be live. We will. We're going to actually do some extra promotion work prior to that. After we finish this live, we're going to do some work, putting together a few special pieces about some of the particular key matches that you're going to see on this East West West card. And we're going to run it as a premiere. So make sure you tune in for that premiere. That premiere will happen probably 1 hour prior to the commencement time for the pay-per-view. And when the pay-per-view kicks off, which of course you'll all grab because we won't be, if you were hoping for us to, now you know, we won't be sharing, of course, any of the footage from the pay-per-view, nor the sound, nor the pictures even.
We won't even be here at all. It'll just be a blank room.
So go and grab the pay-per-view. But yeah, we're gonna be hanging out. We're gonna be hanging out and watching it and losing our shit trying to stay awake all night. It's gonna be 6 hours.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. That's the thing, and you've likened this before with watching sport on TV, and there'd be a football game on. You'd put mute on the TV's volume, and then you put on the radio because you like the commentators on the radio better. It's similar to that. You know, if you enjoy Ryan's commentary, and it's a place for you guys to come and hang out and talk in the chat, and while you've got the event going on, you can watch that and you can listen to us at the same time. And
also, from one of my big hopes is that we drive more people to the pay-per-view than ever would have ever turned up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we got 93,943 subscribers that are going to get a notification, hopefully, and go, oh, what's this? There's a good percentage of them, my subscribers, that were never going to buy the pay-per-view, that hopefully we can twist their arm and get on. If they're watching and seeing that excitement that we're experiencing, they get that vibe of, shit, I'm missing out. I need to get in on this.
That's right. If you flick on and you're seeing us talking about and we're reacting to an event,
it's like, it's awesome.
What's the event? Where do I get it? Yeah. So you're going to be driving people to buying those pay-per-views.
Yeah. So we will definitely be doing a live, and hopefully we'll see you there, brother. People want to know who we got, Michael Todd or Ongabayev.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think Ongabayev is definitely the favorite in this match. And, as you said before, John was saying that he's put money on Michael. That does surprise me a little bit based on Michael's recent form. But I think Ongabayev is on his way to the top. So I think Michael has probably had his day and he might be traveling in the opposite direction.
I'm with you. I'm sticking to my guns. John's upset the apple cart, but I'm sticking to it. I think he has such a proficient top roll technique, both offensive and defensive. I think he will win the height of the hand, and that's where the match will be won and lost. If whoever wins knuckle height will win the match. It may go as bad as Gennady did. No. As in, Gennady beat Michael Todd pretty convincingly by doing exactly that. We'll see. Wish you the best, Michael. I know someone's gonna tell you I picked against you, and I know you're gonna be upset.
Well, do you think he's going to King's move?
Yes, yeah. There'll be a King's move, but I think he has to finish with a press. I'm not sure he can initiate off a press. I think Ongabayev will stop that with his own offensive top roll. It'll be too much to just get straight into the press. But King's move, bleed a bit and then look for the press. That's what we can expect from Michael. What do we got here? Tokyo Swan says Brzezinski seems to always be right when he comes out with a favorite he likes.
Brzezinski's always right about it.
He is a cautious bettor. He doesn't bet unless he's confident.
Yeah, well, that, as you said, throws a spanner in the works. So I'm going to stick to my guns though with Ongabayev.
Yeah, good stuff. Hey, Drew24 got to meet Monster Michael Todd. Let's see what that insight brought him at the Vegas Olympia. Stem cells really work. There you go. So Michael feeling good. That's why. Okay, now I understand why John is betting on Michael, because John has this newfound optimism because of his stem cells. He's obviously feeling good. Michael's had it too. Okay, I get it. So Michael's going to have a bit more side pressure, enthusiasm, maybe.
I don't think even with, say, a better or lack of injury from the stem cell, he's going to change the technique he's going to be using, which I think Ongabayev just understands.
Even if it's just a removal of pain, that removes inhibition and it frees you up to just hit harder, hit faster, just throw shit at your opponent that you wouldn't have done otherwise. So, but I'm with you still.
We'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun match.
Hey, Sweet Arm Wrestling TV in the house. Good to see you, Craigie. Hope you do well if you're doing your live, all that sort of stuff. How long till I completely close the gap on Lachlan and feel confident winning that rematch? That one it's how long's a piece of string? It's unlikely that we're going to be facing in any time. We really recognize that we work really well together. What my strengths are can help Lachlan's game. What Lachlan's strengths are can help my game. We're very interested in both becoming the highest international ranks that we possibly can. So we're going to work together. So you're not going to see us in a super match anytime soon. The only way it's going to happen is if there happens to be a tournament like maybe the Over the Top tournament that we saw last year. If that pops up again with a $10,000 prize on the line, we will both compete for it, no doubt. Man, you be the judge. That's all I'll leave. You be the judge. Yeah.
You said that New Zealand's got a $5,000.
There is, yeah. Apparently, there's a New Zealand tournament coming up in April, so that might draw both of us over there. We'll see. What else we got going? HS says, nice to see that Dennis has shaved his legs for the press conference. Obviously, people were
really focused in. They had a lot of Dennis time on screen when he wasn't really involved in it.
Was he drawing? He was on his phone. He was playing a game of chess against me at one stage.
He did play a blitz game against Ryan.
Edward says he's unable to watch it live. I just don't have all day to spend on my phone. TV card is way too long. It is tricky. it's very difficult to watch the whole thing.
It is, yeah. You'd almost have to time it and be like, if you purchase the pay-per-view and you know that there's 16 matches, give it an hour, give it an hour and a half before you actually tune in.
Or tune into us live, and then just as your favorite match, the one that does matter to you, is approaching, then get it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's supporting the sport, and at the end of the day, I buy pay-per-views for the one match that I want to see.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's only one, and I would happily buy it just before that one match.
Yeah.
So,
it's almost like I would have liked it if they had kept maybe the top 5 or 6 matches as the pay-per-view.
What about this suggestion from Edward?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Edward is thinking the same thing I'm about to say. But
talk me through it.
If you got the first, let's say, 10 matches and they're free to air, so it's on YouTube, it's on a place you can go and watch it for free without having to pay anything at all. You see all these matches, and the whole time throughout those matches, they're pushing the pay-per-view and saying, look, these are the matches that are upcoming, in 2 hours time or whatever. And this is on a pay-per-view. So you get all these matches for free. You get people in, you get them watching, you get them invested in the event. And then it's like, and they're interested about what's happening with the pay-per-view. And at the point where the free matches end, the idea is that you're converting all those people that were watching for free into paying customers to watch and pay for the pay-per-view event.
They recognize the impending excitement they're about to miss, and they just feel that urge. Yeah. I like it. Sounds good. Hey, we got a few people I want to say good day to in the chat. Dave Stockbridge. There he is. Dave Stock. Wrong arm. There it is. we both did the dance then from real. There he is. He's a sponsor of the AWE and one of the voices behind the AWE as well. Ring announcer at the events.
That's right.
He's the Bruce Buffer of the Australian scene. He's a podcast host, isn't he?
He is. He's the co-host, co-founder, co-breather of air, co-wearer of clothes at the Daily Combat podcast, and as well as the AWE podcast. And a fantastic guy, and has supported arm wrestling in South Australia, and he's enormously, and we're looking to do the same with the AWE.
Yeah, massive things coming from Dave Stockbridge and the AWE. So good on you, Dave. Hope you are off to a nice cruisy Saturday morning. And we got big Derek Smith in the house, all 6'7.5" of him, or whatever it is. He says he missed the entire press conference. Anything important? You wrap it up in 10 seconds. What do you got?
Everyone's respectful and thankful to be there, and they say thanks to Engen, and they respect their opponent.
Pork chop cracked an egg on a rock. Mindogus Tarasitis said he's too smart for everyone.
Understand.
John looks really confident. Jerry was typical Jerry, confident. Georgi Svetkov is much more likable than most people anticipated. Nerdalat's translator takes a long time to get it to English. Travis Bajan is a killer, and I wish he had the mic more. Michael Todd looks bigger than we thought he was going to be at 105. Gabriella's opponent is a giant,
humongous person,
like a Derek-sized female.
Yeah.
She's like Derek, but the female.
Yeah,
Derek,
125 kilos.
Yeah, she's Dave Chafee. She's 6'2", 125 kilos.
It's insane. When they did the face-off, it was like a parent and their child.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, Derek. That wraps it up. That's what you missed, man. There he is. He says, "Yo," on you, Derek. Oh man,
what's Derek's next match?
What's going on, Derek?
If you know your next opponent, let us know. We'll be very interested.
Alexander Clark wants to know the question. Bowen, how good is Kyle Howarth? I know he lives quite far from you, but we don't really hear about him. Well, Alexander Clark, Kyle Howarth was on the last Monster Factory. He pulled Bob Brown. Bob Brown beat him. They had a great war, though. But Kyle would be, I think, Australia's #1 ranked 90 kilo puller.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's been pulling a decade, same as me.
Absolutely. Yeah, lovely guy as well. We wanted to get him on the AWE card, and I think we'll probably look to get him on the cards in the future. I think we just didn't have an opponent for him in this first one.
Megatron's trying to bait me into calling out Michael Todd.
Have you pulled with Michael?
I really would love to. No, I haven't. No, I've never met. I'm sorry. I have met Michael in person, WAL events, but I've never gripped it. I would love to. Yeah. I'd love to train and try to solve that puzzle that is the King's move of Michael Todd.
Even just to feel it, like how effective it is.
What is Derek saying? Who's KO? I don't think KO will be able to keep up the pressure. Who's KO?
I don't know. 3-1 for Michael Todd. Okay.
Osmali. Sorry. Kitagali Ongabayev. Okay.
Oh, Ongabayev. Yeah, of course. Sorry.
Come on, Derek. I need more than just KO.
No, you didn't want to write Ongabayev.
Onga. Give me Onga. Fair enough. So he's got 3-1 or 3-2 to Monster Michael Todd. Going to bleed out the bicep and brachialis by the sounds of that of Ongabayev.
Is that still a shutout? I think he still bet on that at Arbet.
I'm not sure.
Snake King.
Not sure. Let's have a look at the comments, see what else is going on before we wrap it up a bit. What else we got? Drew says, I hope Coach Ray wins. Look, he's going to lose eventually. If Doug can do it, good on him. I do think Coach has raised the favorite. He had a great year. Yeah, it's at a weight that I think he's going to still be dominant at. He's in good form.
How do you think you would go against Coach Ray right now?
Well, it's a silly question to even talk about because he's now 85 kilos and I'm 106.
Yeah.
So, hey, Derek's sending us some cash.
Wow.
You're the man, Derek. Thank you very much. $4.99. Support Ryan. Hey, I'm assuming you'll be watching Chance's match closely. Yes, I will. What specifically are you looking at regarding your match with him? I am watching his wrist very closely. I'm watching his placement relative to his wrist joint, whether how much depth he takes, how confident he is. Is he willing to? Does he pronate first or rise first? Does he trust his fingers? Does he trust his thumb? Does he pronate with his base of his wrist or his door knocking knuckles? To name a few.
Yeah, just those.
Yeah. I'll be watching his wrist really closely in the setup and in his initiation. Obviously, David is a very different shaped arm wrestler to myself. Chance, there's no questions where I'm attacking Chance. Top roll v top roll, I have to take his wrist. I don't think I can beat him if I don't control the hand and wrist. So I'm all in on the wrist, and he knows it. So
does very well against hookers as well, doesn't
he? He does. Travis, thank you for the super chat again, Derek. You're the man. I really appreciate it. Hey, Travis in people's corner is going to be good. Yeah, Travis is a good corner man. He intimidates people from the corner, even like the opponent. Travis has got an energy about him that's very unique.
Gravelly voice.
Hey, Derek's let us know he's pulling Austin Jaggers both hands March 11. Needs a few US matches to get back in the swing of things. Yeah, good stuff. Austin Jaggers, he pulled Lachlan.
Right.
And Lachlan got the win 3-1, I think, over Austin.
Both hands.
Dave Stockbridge wants to know how we pulled up after the Rep King workout. Dave, it was horrendous. He made he made young Ethan spew. He made me genuinely have fear that I was not going to recover. The lactic acid in my arms wouldn't go away. I didn't know what was wrong. I'm laying on the floor, like panicking. Like, what? Why isn't this going down? The lactic acid should subside now. It's been 10 minutes. No, I'm still rolling on the floor as he's still doing reps. That's kind of how it was.
It's fantastic. I love it.
The guy's a psycho. Crazy. Have you ever hurt yourself, Ryan? Arm wrestling, nothing serious, thankfully. There's always strains. There's always something. No one's ever in perfect shape. There's always niggles, isn't there? So
you had somebody hurt themselves against you?
No.
That's good.
No, I think I keep people very safe.
Right.
I never hit on a nasty angle. I don't. I always take people's hands in a shape. I would be shocked if I broke someone's arm. I really would. And if they're a newcomer or anything, I think I'm the safest person. Yeah, it spooks me. I don't want to ever feel that. John Brzenko, Rockley, quick fire.
Hard to get bet against the greatest of all time, John Brzenko. I think he will have too much knowledge and his hands just too strong.
Yeah, I got John 3-0. Good stuff. And we are to the bottom of the chat, guys. We've been live for 54 minutes, so we are going to wrap this one up. Guys, all 91 of you that are still here, I want to thank you for tuning in. Please support the pay-per-view, East vs. West, number 6. Head to coresports.com. Get all of the pay-per-view information from there. Matt Connelly and I will join you for a live reaction commentary. We won't be showing it. Of course, you do need to buy the pay-per-view, but we will be live. We'll have Ethan Tunstall here as well as the event unfolds. We'll talk about everything that goes on. Also, please do tune in for the premiere that will be running about an hour before the pay-per-view is due to kick off. That premiere will show you all the juicy bits of what's to come. It'll tell you the stories of why the interesting matches are the interesting matches, and it'll get you revved up, ready to go. So don't miss that premiere. It'll be on about an hour before the pay-per-view. But Matt Connelly, we've been up all night. We're going to go have some breakfast, have a coffee, and then come back to the studio, do some more. Last but not least, again, thank you everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. It's been a while since I've been live, and we gained a few subs in the meantime.